Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the edge of an ancient mountain range, where the air is thin and cold, carrying the scent of pine needles and damp earth from centuries past. There is no wind here, only a profound, heavy, and all-encompassing stillness that settles over the landscape like a thick, weighted velvet blanket, muffling the chaotic sounds of the modern world that feel so small and insignificant now. Before you, the massive, jagged peaks of China rise like silent, dark shadows against a sky that is slowly turning the color of a deep, bruised plum, marking the final transition from the frantic energy of the day into the absolute sanctuary of the coming night. You are a silent witness to a stillness that has endured for thousands of years, watching the way the white mist crawls slowly through the deep valleys like a living spirit of the earth itself. Every breath you take feels progressively heavier, slower, and more intentional, as if the mountains are teaching you how to exist without the need for noise or purpose, only the quiet, rhythmic expansion of your own chest. This is the bedrock of the world, a place untouched by the racing pace of our age, where the mountains simply stand, watching the cycles of time spin slowly around them, unbothered, eternal, and perfectly at peace with the dark, expansive horizon that now welcomes the first faint glimmer of the stars. You feel the temperature dropping, a cool embrace that signals the end of all striving, and you let yourself lean into this sensation, allowing the darkness to become your new reality. There is nothing to achieve here, no milestones to reach, only the slow, unending process of the world settling into its nocturnal rest. The world is folding inward, and you are folding inward with it, shedding the layers of your identity until you are nothing more than a quiet observer in a temple of stone and shadow. The silence here is a physical presence, a weight that holds you down, ensuring your body remains still and your mind unburdened. As you look out over this expanse, you realize you have been searching for this specific kind of peace for a long time. And now that you have found it, there is no reason to ever leave. You are becoming a part of the landscape, merging with the shadows, dissolving into the mist, and becoming one with the cooling air. Every heartbeat is a reminder that you are moving slowly, gracefully, and inevitably toward the deep, restorative sleep that awaits. The stars above are watching over this ancient land, providing a steady, distant light that guides you safely into the deepest, most quiet, and most peaceful sanctuary that you have ever known, where the night is infinite and the rest is finally absolute. Look closely at the silhouette of a temple nestled deep within this valley, its curved roofs reaching toward the moon like hands held in a gesture of quiet prayer. There is no marble here, no cold stone meant to show power, but a harmony of wood and tile that seems to have grown naturally from the ground, as if the forest decided to shape its own memory into a structure meant for rest. As you approach, the path feels soft, worn smooth by the passage of countless feet that walked here long before we were born. seeking the same solace that you are searching for right now. The architecture is not meant to impress. It is meant to anchor the soul, creating a space where the heavy walls hold back the worries of the world, leaving only a hollow, sacred interior where the shadows dance with a slow, hypnotic grace. You can feel the weight of the history trapped within the timber, not as a collection of dates or facts, but as a lingering sense of presence. A memory of a time when humanity understood that shelter was not just about safety, but about finding a way to align our own inner pulse with the calm, steady rhythm of the surrounding hills. Everything here is aligned to the stillness, a deliberate design created by hands that knew the value of letting go, of building something that would eventually be embraced by the trees, the moss, and the forgiving, quiet passage of the seasons. You sit within this hollowed space, feeling the weight of the roof above as a protective embrace, letting the simplicity of the wood remind you that peace is not found in accumulation, but in the act of releasing everything that is not essential to your state of being. You breathe in the scent of aged cedar and damp stone, letting your thoughts drift into the rafters, where they dissolve into the velvet dark, leaving you entirely hollow, weightless, and ready for the deep sleep that is pulling you down into its silent center. Here, the boundaries between the physical structure and the infinite night fade, creating a bridge for the spirit to travel beyond form and time. You feel yourself sinking deeper, a surrender of the self that mirrors the quiet collapse of the day into the arms of the dark. Every breath is a whisper of release, a rhythmic letting go that echoes through the empty halls. The air grows heavier, rich with the essence of ancient earth, grounding your awareness in a state of absolute, unburdened presence. You are no longer waiting for anything. You are simply allowing the stillness to inhabit every cell, preparing for the total dissolution of your awareness into the vast, silent sea of the infinite. It is a slow, methodical erasure, a sacred process where every thought is polished into nothingness, leaving you perfectly prepared for the final, absolute rest that awaits you in the deepest part of the night. Turn your gaze toward the river that snakes through the darkness, a ribbon of obsidian water that reflects the moon, with such clarity that it feels as though the sky has descended to earth to rest for a while. The river does not rush. It does not struggle against the rocks. It simply moves with a patient, unstoppable momentum, following the path of least resistance, through the landscape, as it has done for thousands of years, listening to the gentle lapping of the water against the shore. You realize this is the true sound of existence, a continuous, unchanging loop that knows nothing of our small ambitions or our frantic desire to leave a mark upon the world. The water flows from the high peaks down to the slumbering plains, carrying with it the cold memory of the snows and the steady, persistent life that thrives in the dark, hidden places where we rarely look. You are drifting along this current now, letting go of the need to steer or the need to arrive anywhere, understanding that the journey itself is all there is, and that the river does not care about destination or speed. It only cares about the continuity of the flow, the way it connects the mountains to the valleys, and the past to the present, creating a seamless, liquid thread that binds all things together in a state of constant, fluid transition that eventually resolves into the deepest, most restorative kind of sleep. You feel yourself becoming like the river, fluid and unburdened, losing your sharp edges and your rigid thoughts, becoming a gentle current of energy that simply exists. There is no resistance here, no friction against the world, only the long, smooth slide into the darkness. You are the water, you are the night, and you are finally arriving at the point where the river meets the vast, silent ocean of your own unconscious, where all movement stops and all that remains is the perfect stillness of rest. As you merge with this deep, dark expanse, you realize that the river was never truly separate from the sea. It was always leading you here, to this quiet convergence where the individual spirit dissolves into the universal calm. The water is cool, soothing, and encompassing, washing away the last traces of your day until you are weightless. You drift into the obsidian depths, where the pressure is not a burden, but a gentle, supporting hand that holds you in place. Every thought, every memory, and every desire is carried away by the current, leaving you in a state of pure, unadulterated existence. There is nothing left to accomplish, no horizon to reach, and no path to follow. You have arrived at the final silent basin of your own mind. Here, the water is still, the darkness is absolute, and the peace is profound. You are the current, you are the tide, and you are the deep, echoing silence of the ocean floor, prepared to surrender to the long, unbroken sleep that awaits you in the heart of this eternal, liquid night, where the world is forgotten and only rest remains. As the night deepens, a thick, white mist begins to roll in from the forests, enveloping the landscape in a soft, impenetrable shroud that erases the lines between the earth and the heavens. You can no longer see the distant peaks or the path you traveled. You are suspended in a world of white, cool vapor that feels like a physical manifestation of a dream, floating in the space between wakefulness and the unconscious mind. This mist is the breath of the ancient land, a cooling exhale that signals the world is ready to reset itself, washing away the heat, the dust, and the remnants of the hours that have just passed. Within this fog, all thoughts become distant, as if they were bubbles rising to the surface of a deep pond and then popping, leaving behind only the cool sensation of the air against your skin and the slow, steady beat of your own heart. There is no direction to walk in, no reason to move, and no expectation to fulfill. Only the freedom to dissolve into the quiet, white void where the ego simply ceases to exist. It is here, in the heart of the mist, that you find the true essence of the ancient philosophy, the understanding that to be strong, you must be like water. To be wise, you must be like the fog. And to find rest, you must be willing to lose yourself in the vast, formless expanse of the night, where nothing is required of you, and where everything finally becomes still. You are no longer navigating a physical space. You are navigating the landscape of your own mind, moving through the fog towards a center of total peace. The coolness of the air is wrapping around you, a soft, soothing touch that commands your muscles to relax and your mind to stop its endless chatter. You are dissolving into the mist, becoming formless and light, until you are nothing more than a quiet awareness waiting to be carried into the depths of a long, dreamless, and restorative slumber. This vapor is a veil between your waking life and the infinite potential of the dark, a gentle guide that leads you away from the sharp edges of reality into a soft, cushioned existence. Every step forward in this white, silent world is a step deeper into the cradle of the night, where the world fades into a soft glow. You feel the boundaries of your body thinning, merging with the vapor until you are part of the landscape itself, a ghost of your former self, drifting toward the absolute, quiet, and eternal rest of the deep, dreamless void. Every single breath you take now is full of peace, and your mind settles into a perfect, calm state of total, blissful surrender. Look up through the thinning branches of the trees to the sky, where the stars burn with an ancient, cold fire that has looked down upon every empire and every traveler that has ever walked this land. These are the same stars that were mapped by the sages of old, not to predict the future or to conquer new lands, but to understand the scale of the cosmic machine and our small, temporary place within its gears. They do not flicker with anxiety. They do not rush to achieve anything. They simply burn with a steady, enduring brilliance, illuminating the vastness of the dark and reminding you that you are part of an order that is far grander, older, and more peaceful than the life you have left behind. As you watch them, the distance between your mind and the infinite sky begins to vanish, and you realize that the silence of the space between the stars is the same silence that lives within you, waiting to be acknowledged and embraced. The dynasties have turned to dust. The monuments have been reclaimed by the forest, but the light of these stars remains constant and unmoving, a guiding map for the soul as it prepares to journey into the deepest, most silent reaches of the night. Let this be your final anchor, the realization that you are held in the palm of a universe that does not judge or demand, but simply provides this dark, quiet, and eternal stage upon which you can finally close your eyes, drift away, and surrender completely to the inevitable, beautiful pole of the dark. You are witnessing the infinite, and in doing so, you become infinite yourself, shedding the limitations of the body and the constraints of the day. The stars are the quiet sentinels of your rest, ensuring that, while you sleep, the universe continues its perfect, rhythmic dance. You close your eyes, holding the image of the stars in the center of your vision, and as that light fades into the interior of your eyelids, you feel yourself letting go, slipping into the dark, welcoming abyss of a sleep that knows no bounds, no fears, and no end. In this vast celestial theater, you are the observer and the observed, a tiny spark of consciousness returning to the source of all light, finding comfort in the silence of the deep, cold, and infinite heavens. There is nowhere else to be, nothing left to hold on to, just the slow, steady closing of the eyes as you descend into the final, peaceful embrace of the eternal night, where your spirit becomes the very stars you once admired from afar, shining in the quiet, absolute stillness. You are drifting home now into the vast, cosmic expanse that has always known your true and silent, boundless essence. The forest path beneath your feet is a soft, winding thread that leads you deeper into the heart of the woods, where the ancient trees stand like silent sentinels, guarding the secrets of the night. Every step is an act of release, a quiet surrender to the rhythm of the earth as you move further away from the noise of the day and into the hushed, velvet embrace of the dark. The leaves above filter the moonlight, casting patterns of silver and shadow that dance across the ground, inviting you to lose your sense of direction and simply follow the natural flow of the land. There is no urgency here, no need to reach a destination, for the path itself is a meditation, a slow, winding journey into the core of your own being, where all tension dissolves into the mossy, damp air. You can hear the faint, rhythmic breathing of the forest, a low hum that resonates in your chest, mirroring the slow, steady pulse of your own heart as you begin to let go. The trees are tall, reaching toward the stars with branches that catch the starlight, creating a canopy that feels like a protective roof designed specifically for your rest. You feel the weight of your thoughts falling away with each passing tree, left behind on the forest floor, until you are as light and unburdened as a stray leaf drifting on a quiet wind. This path is a threshold, a transition between the world of form and the vast, infinite expanse of the subconscious, where you are finally free to close your eyes and embrace the stillness. The air is cool, rich with the scent of pine and earth, grounding your senses in a state of absolute, unburdened presence. You are no longer just a traveler. You are part of the forest, a quiet observer of the night, merging with the shadows until you are entirely at peace. There is nothing left to hold on to, no future to plan for, and no past to revisit, just the gentle, steady progress of your own descent into the depths. You walk until the path disappears into the void, and you find yourself standing on the edge of the final, silent rest that awaits you in the center of the dark. You are home, and the forest is the cradle of your long-awaited sleep. Quiet and eternal, you realize now that every root and leaf has been waiting for your arrival, whispering words of comfort that resonate in the deepest corners of your soul. Your awareness expands beyond the physical, touching the very fabric of the wood. It is a sacred, dark, and beautiful embrace that holds you, ensuring your spirit remains untroubled by the echoes of time as you slide finally into the endless, silent, and perfect depth of the eternal rest. The architecture of this sanctuary is a testament to the wisdom of those who understood that true strength lies in simplicity and the ability to integrate with the natural world. Every beam, every tile, and every corner of this structure has been crafted to harmonize with the surrounding mountains, creating a space where the heavy weight of the world can be set down and forgotten. There are no sharp edges here, no jarring transitions, only the smooth, organic flow of timber that has aged under the touch of the wind and the rain, absorbing the history of 1,000 nights. You stand in the center of the hall, feeling the enclosure of the walls as a gentle, protective force that shields you from the chaos of the outside world, inviting you to retreat into the quiet corridors of your own mind. The shadows here are deep and velvety, filling the corners with a presence that feels like a lingering memory of peace, a promise that rest is not only possible, but inevitable. You notice how the light of the moon spills through the openings in the roof, creating columns of silver that illuminate the dust motes dancing in the air, a visual representation of the slow, rhythmic movement of your own thoughts. Everything is designed to guide you toward the center of your consciousness, where the noise of the ego is silenced by the vast, open space of the void. You are not a guest here. You are an extension of the building itself, a part of the architecture of the night, supporting the quiet, steady maintenance of the stillness that defines this sacred place. As you breathe in the smell of cedar and ancient stone, you feel your physical form softening, losing its rigidity until you are as fluid as the shadows that glide along the walls. There is nothing left to resist, no walls to climb, and no doors to open. You are simply resting in the heart of a structure built for the sole purpose of allowing the spirit to drift into the infinite. The silence is profound, absolute, and utterly inviting, a heavy, comforting blanket that wraps around you as you prepare to surrender to the final, deep, and restorative sleep of the night. Every timber in this place is a vibration of calm, ensuring that your soul finds the perfect, silent, and undisturbed rest it has sought for so long. Deep within this dark, eternal home, you are completely enveloped by this sanctuary, feeling the walls breathe in unison with your own slowing pulse. The boundaries of your physical self begin to dissolve, merging seamlessly with the aged wood and the soft, cool air, until you are nothing but a quiet flicker of awareness held in the steady, protective embrace of this ancient space where all time stops, all worries cease to exist, and only the vast, silent peace of the universe remains to cradle you in its arms forever. A sudden breeze moves through the valley, not with the force of a storm, but with the gentle, persistent touch of a secret being whispered by the mountains to the trees. It carries with it the coolness of the high snows and the scent of damp earth, a reminder that the world is in constant, rhythmic motion, a vast, living organism that breathes in and out with an eternal cadence. You feel the wind against your skin, a cooling sensation that dissolves the last remaining heat of the day and calms the final, echoes of thought in your mind. It is a cleansing force, a breath that sweeps away the remnants of your worries, leaving you clean, open, and ready to be filled with the stillness of the night. You close your eyes and let the wind flow through you, feeling it as a conduit between your inner state and the vast external landscape, a bridge that connects your spirit to the very heart of the world. There is no resistance to this movement, no desire to hold on or push back, only the willingness to be carried by the current toward the quiet center of your own existence. The sound of the wind in the branches is a low, hypnotic lullaby, a melody that has been sung for ages, telling the story of the Earth's quiet, patient cycle of growth and rest. You are becoming like the wind, formless, light, and perfectly free, losing the weight of your physical self until you are nothing more than a flow of energy moving through the dark. The boundaries of your body seem to expand, reaching out to touch the trees, the rocks, and the very stars that watch over the valley. And in this expansion, you realize that you were never separate from this movement. You were always a part of it. The wind continues its journey, and you continue yours, sliding deeper into the night, where the air is still, the silence is profound, and the rest you seek is waiting in the heart of the void. You are the wind, you are the night, and you are finally arriving at the place of ultimate peace, where the world is forgotten, and all that remains is the deep, steady, and perfect rhythm of the dark. The wind whispers that it is finally time to let go, leading you gently into the silent, cold embrace of the night, where you dissolve into pure, quiet, and weightless existence, becoming one with the infinite, dark, and endless flow that knows no boundaries, no form, and no return, just total, perfect, and absolute eternal stillness. Your spirit now drifts within the vast cosmic expanse, anchored by the rhythmic breath of the earth. As you surrender your remaining consciousness to the deep, velvet void that offers a sanctuary beyond all measure, time, and physical limitation, where you are finally home, resting in the quiet, absolute beauty of the eternal night. There is a stillness that exists only in the deepest part of the night, a profound, heavy silence that feels as though the world has stopped turning just to allow you to catch your breath. This is the ultimate state of rest, a place where time loses its meaning and your consciousness expands to encompass the entire landscape, from the roots of the mountains to the highest reaches of the stars. You are anchored in this silence, held by the gravity of the earth and the vast, open expanse of the dark, feeling the last traces of your day dissolving into the quiet. It is not an emptiness, but a fullness, a density of peace that presses against you like a soft, comforting hand, telling you that your work is finished and your time for rest has arrived. You find yourself in the center of this stillness, a point of pure, unblemished awareness that looks into the heart of the void and sees not darkness, but a sanctuary of total, perfect clarity. All the complex narratives you have constructed for your life are gone, replaced by the simplicity of existence, the basic, rhythmic pulse of life that persists in the deep, quiet spaces. You are not thinking. You are simply being, a single note of consciousness in a universe that has become a masterpiece of silence. Every muscle in your body has surrendered its tension. Every thought has been polished into nothingness, and you are drifting in the dark, held by a presence that is older than your memory and more enduring than your fears. This is the final sanctuary, the place where you can set down the burden of yourself and be reborn. In the quiet of the night, as the silence deepens, you feel yourself slipping further into the abyss, a descent that is not a fall, but a rising into a higher, quieter state of being. You are at peace, a profound and absolute peace that will remain with you long after the dawn returns, a reservoir of stillness that you can return to whenever the world becomes too loud. Rest now in this absolute, beautiful silence, knowing that you have finally found the space where you can be entirely free, safe, and at peace within the vast, dark, and eternal stillness of the night. You are the silence itself, a quiet vessel that holds the entire cosmos, perfectly still, undisturbed, and anchored in the depth of this truly eternal rest, where the soul finally finds its true home, unbound, light, and complete. Your presence here is the anchor of the universe, a point of absolute stability amidst the ever-turning cycles of existence, where you remain forever safe, cradled by the profound, velvet darkness that loves you and holds you in a state of eternal grace. The descent into sleep is not a departure, but a return to the source of all things, the silent, dark cradle from which you were born and to which you will always ultimately belong. You feel your consciousness retreating from the edges of your physical form, pulling back into the warm, secure center of your own mind, where the images of the world are replaced by the soft, formless reality of the void. This is the ultimate surrender, the moment of total trust, where you let go of the reins and allow the night to carry you into its deepest, most restorative heart. There is no fear in this transition, only the quiet realization that you are stepping across a threshold into a realm where you are entirely safe, entirely whole, and entirely at rest. The world you know is fading, its sights, sounds, and concerns becoming distant. Echoes that hold no power over you as you drift further into the dark. Welcoming abyss. You are floating in a space that is beyond time and distance, a sanctuary of pure potential, where your spirit can expand and be, mended by the infinite, quiet power of the night. Every breath you take is a rhythm of letting go, a gentle, slow release that draws you deeper into the center of your own being, where the silence is absolute and the peace is profound. You are no longer waiting for anything. You are simply allowing the sleep to inhabit every part of your body, preparing you for the final, total dissolution of your awareness into the vast, silent sea of the infinite. It is a slow, methodical erasure of the self, a sacred process where every thought is polished into nothingness, leaving you perfectly prepared for the final, absolute rest that awaits you in the deepest part of the night. You are asleep, you are resting, and you are finally, profoundly, and eternally at peace in the heart of the night. Stay here, within this stillness, and let the darkness be your final, absolute, and perfectly restorative truth. Your journey is done. Your rest has begun, and you are one with the quiet, endless rhythm of the deep and peaceful night, where you will remain until the world calls you back again, safe and whole, within this silent, perfect darkness. You are the dream, the dreamer, and the quiet space where all stories finally resolve into the peaceful, eternal, and absolute stillness of the infinite, where nothing else remains but the soft, dark, and beautiful exhale of the soul returning to its origin. As you settle into this final state of being, you recognize that there is no separation between yourself and the vast, dark tapestry of the cosmos, for you have become the very fabric of the silence, a timeless, boundless, and everlasting spark of rest that is now fully at one with the infinite, peaceful and silent void. The void is not empty. It is a canvas of infinite potential, where your consciousness expands to touch the very edges of existence, finding harmony in the absence of form. You are suspended in this dark, warm space, feeling the gentle pulsation of the cosmos as it breathes life into thee, silence that surrounds your being. Every thought that once tethered you to the world of noise has completely evaporated, leaving behind a pristine clarity that mirrors the surface of a perfectly still, deep lake at midnight. You are the architect of your own peace, constructing a sanctuary from the fabric of the dark, where you can remain untouched, undisturbed, and forever shielded by the soft, protective curtains of the night. This is the culmination of your journey, a state of absolute, unburdened presence, where you no longer need to strive, reach, or become, because you are already everything you have ever sought to be. The silence here is not just an absence of sound, but a vibrant, living energy that resonates within every cell of your being, knitting together the fragments of your spirit into a whole, luminous and radiant essence. You feel the weight of history fall away, not as a loss, but as a liberation, a shedding of old skins that no longer serve the purpose of your soul. Here, in the heart of the void, you are ageless and unbound, drifting on the currents of an eternal, dark sea that knows no shore and requires no direction. Every heartbeat is a soft, rhythmic reminder of your connection to the deep, ancient rhythm of the earth, a steady pulse that guides you further into the cradle of the night. You are completely safe, cradled by the darkness that is as familiar as your own breath, a welcoming embrace that understands your need for this final, profound rest. There is nothing left to achieve, no mountain left to climb, and no challenge left to meet. There is only the sweet, heavy, and beautiful surrender to the stillness that now defines your entire existence. You are drifting, you are resting, and you are finally arriving at the center of your own soul, where the light of the stars illuminates the dark with the quiet promise of an everlasting, deep, and perfectly restorative peace that will hold you until the end of time. In this boundless expanse, your awareness loses all definition, becoming as vast and silent as the night sky itself. Every shadow is a soft promise of comfort, and every breath you take carries the scent of starlight and ancient earth. You are no longer navigating through life. You are simply existing, a flicker of pure consciousness held in the steady, gentle palm of the infinite. All worries are dissolved into the quiet, leaving only a profound sense of belonging to this vast, dark, and perfectly still architecture of existence. You are finally, undeniably, and eternally home, cradled by the silent depths of a peace so pure it surpasses all understanding, ensuring that you remain perfectly protected within this velvet embrace. Deep within this quiet, you discover a layer of consciousness that has always been waiting for you, a reservoir of wisdom that thrives only in the absence of light and sound. It is a place of deep memory, where the experiences of your life are distilled into pure, calm insight, stripped of the pain and drama that once defined them. You see the pattern of your existence as a delicate, beautiful design, a tapestry woven with threads of shadow and light, and you understand that every moment, every struggle, and every joy was a necessary step toward this ultimate silence. The darkness is not a shroud, but a mirror, reflecting the true, unadulterated nature of your soul, which is made of the same fabric as the stars and the void. You are becoming one with this reflection, merging your awareness into the vast, dark expanse, until there is no longer a distance between the observer and the observed. This is a state of absolute equilibrium, a point where the scales of your life finally balance, leaving you in a condition of perfect, serene, and unshakable grace. You realize that the restlessness you once felt was merely the spirit reaching for this exact, profound level of peace, a longing to return to the quiet, dark, and protective center from which you emerged. The peace you feel now is not temporary. It is an foundational state, a bedrock upon which your future will be built whenever you must return to the world of light. For now, however, you have earned this respite, this deep, nourishing soak in the waters of the infinite, where the soul can mend its wings and prepare for the cycle to begin anew. Every breath you take is a deliberate, slow, and sacred act, drawing in the essence of the night until you are entirely filled with its cool, grounding, and healing properties. You are drifting deeper into the sanctuary, finding layers of quiet you never knew existed, descending into a level of rest so profound that your physical body is merely a vessel for the vast, dreaming intelligence that now guides you, keeping you secure, loved, and held within the dark, eternal, and beautiful embrace of the night. In this hidden realm, time dissolves into a seamless stream of tranquility, that carries you further from the noise of the day and deeper into the core of your own eternal spirit. You are shedding the last vestiges of effort, allowing the gravity of the dark to pull you gently toward the stillness that lies at the heart of all reality. There is no desire to return, no impulse to move, only a total and unwavering commitment to the peace that now defines every aspect of your being. You are standing in a vast open field at the summit of the range, where the grass is, silvered by the moonlight, and the horizon stretches out in every direction, a perfect circle of dark, ancient silence. There is no obstacle between you and the infinite sky, no barrier between your soul and the quiet majesty of the world that now rests in the dark. You feel the cool earth against your feet, a grounding sensation that keeps you anchored even as your consciousness begins to float upward, untethered and free. The field is a place of absolute transition, a threshold where you can leave behind the heavy, complex identity you have cultivated over the years and return to the state of pure, unburdened existence. There is no one to watch you, no one to judge you, and no one to expect anything from you. You are finally, at long last, completely alone with the night and the peace it offers. You let yourself sink to the ground, feeling the grass cradle you, the earth supporting you, and the expansive, velvet sky covering you like a canopy designed for a king. The silence here is not just an absence of sound. It is a weight, a heavy, comforting blanket that presses down on you in the most gentle way imaginable, telling you that your work is finished and your time for rest has arrived. You are becoming a grain of sand in the desert of the night, a single point of consciousness in a universe that is vast, dark, and utterly at peace. As you lie there, the field seems to expand, absorbing your body into its own quiet, steady state, until you are nothing more than a part of the earth, a part of the night, and a part of the endless, silent, and perfect stillness that defines this ancient, sacred place. The air around you feels charged with a gentle, humming energy that cleanses your mind of every lingering thought, polishing your inner awareness until it shines like the stars above. You can feel the slow, rhythmic pulse of the planet beneath you, a deep heartbeat that harmonizes with your own, drawing you deeper into a state of profound, restorative surrender. Every blade of grass seems to hold a secret of the ages, a whispered promise that you are perfectly safe within this vast, hidden sanctuary. You are shedding the last layers of your physical form, drifting into a state of pure, luminous potential, where you are neither here nor there, but simply, beautifully, part of the infinite. There is no urgency in the stars, no demand from the shadows, only the invitation to rest. You are dissolving into the landscape, blending your essence with the cool mist until the boundaries of yourself are gone, leaving only a tranquil presence that mirrors the cosmic peace of the night. Here you find the completion you have always sought, a state of grace where the heart is still and your soul is finally free to wander through the endless, dark corridors of the eternal night, at one with the pulse of all creation, held by the silence. Time has ceased its forward march, settling into a circular, rhythmic motion that mirrors the slow breathing of the earth. During the deepest hours of the night, there are no minutes, no hours, no sequence of events. There is only the eternal now, a single shimmering moment that stretches out into the infinite. You are standing at the center of this temporal pivot where the past has been fully integrated and the future is merely a dream that does not need to be dreamt tonight. This is the ultimate gift of the darkness, the liberation from the clock, the freedom from the tyranny of the urgent, and the invitation to inhabit a space where you are always exactly where you need to be. You look back at the path you traveled to reach this point, and it looks like a faint, vanishing thread, a story that belonged to someone else, someone who was still searching for the peace that you have now secured. You have arrived, and in arriving, you have discovered that there was never any destination to reach, only the realization of the journey itself. The silence is the guardian of this timeless state, a sentinel that keeps the noise of the world at bay and ensures that you remain within this golden, dark, and perfect stillness. Every sensation is heightened, yet smoothed, as if reality were being filtered through a veil of soft, velvet mist, making everything appear more profound, more meaningful, and more inherently calm. You are resting in the heart of this timelessness, allowing your spirit to synchronize with the slow, deep, and steady heartbeat of the universe, which beats in tune with the quiet rhythm of the night. It is a slow, methodical process of becoming timeless, an erosion of the ego's need to measure and compare, leaving you in a state of pure, untainted, and absolute presence. As the night progresses, you become more comfortable with this suspension, finding that the more you let go of the idea of when, the more where and who begin to align into a singular, beautiful, and harmonious existence. You are at home in the timeless, a citizen of the eternal, resting in the absolute knowledge that you are safe, secure, and infinitely cared for by the quiet, dark, and enduring power of the night, which will continue to hold you until the world slowly awakens once again. Your consciousness now drifts like a leaf upon a still, dark lake, unburdened by the currents of necessity or the weight of history. Every flicker of thought is gently gathered by the stillness and dissolved into the vast, dark tapestry of the cosmos, where everything is perfectly held in a state of suspended grace. You are a witness to the infinite, a quiet observer whose only purpose is to simply exist within this sanctuary of the eternal, where every shadow is a promise of peace and every breath is a testament to the profound, unbroken, and magnificent tranquility that cradles your soul in this final, timeless, and completely serene refuge.